Hi guys, welcome to this upload for you guys today exclusively onto YouTube.com. It's no other than Wrestling Fan Open Mic Night. I'm your host Gavin Alex Fletcher. Always gives you honesty towards professional wrestling. Now I have gave honesty towards professional wrestling for numerous of years now, and if you've never seen me before, I'm glad you didn't because you've come to the right place. But obviously I've gained since I've been back here on YouTube talking about professional wrestling, I've gained one subscriber. That's not good enough for me. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you'll be notified anytime when I do any content. Now, obviously, I want to talk about Dynamite, but first and foremost, before I was hitting record, I seen rumours and speculate that Warlow was spotted backstage, which I'm taking this as a pinch of salt, guys. I'm taking this as a pinch of salt. And I thought I'd tie it in with obviously my review of AEW Dynamite from last night. Now, I just want to say to every one of you guys is the reason why I take these rumours as a pinch of salt, it means a rumour. You know, I didn't believe the rumours with Miro that was leaving AEW to go to WWE, but it materialized that way this past Monday night. So it's just all hearsay at the moment. But with the Wardlow situation, what can the WWE do that Wardlow's not already done in Lucha Underground? Why he's not done in AEW? You know, because at the end of the day, he's going to be booked as a powerhouse, which will probably see the same old stuff that he's been known for many, many years. Now, the thing is, if he goes to the WWE, what could they do with him? You know, they've already got a powerhouse in Bron Breakker, which has recently joined with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. If you want to hear my thoughts and opinions on Monday Night Raw, please head over to my other video right here on this very channel. That's not me farting, that's my chair creaking. If you heard that, I do apologise. But that's what I mean. It's like, what does WWE want with Wardlow? It's quite funny as well. While some talk about WWE on this very review, over Mania and all that lot, they were subliminally talking about AEW. AEW fans worked it out, and I think it's a bit petty. They made Ricky Starks the North American Championship winner. He faced Ethan Page, standard and deliver. Don't get me wrong, it was a good match. But what's this point to prove that, okay, you're snapping up from a AEW talent? Now, the thing is, yes, they got Penta. Yes, they got Ray Phoenix. Yes, they got Cody when he left AEW. I still find that as a massive loss for the likes of AEW, but I still think he's on AEW's payroll. And that's just me being honest. They've recovered from that. They've recovered from the fiasco from CM Punk. And like last week, it was living proven testament. They can actually do really good house shows. Not house shows, sorry, weekly shows. Now, I look at the way Dynamite was last night, which I'll get to on in a minute. Don't get me wrong, last week's Dynamite did deliver. Did this one deliver suit? You soon find out. But I just want to say, what would WWE do with Wardlow? Now, the thing is, this is one thing I'm waiting for the petty bullshit from obviously avid WWE fans will say this probably. Oh, we snapped up AEW talent, or stuff like that. But it's okay. We can live without Wardlow because at the end of the day, creative probably ain't got nothing for him. I don't think he suits the mold where AEW are going in the near distant future in 2025. And I don't blame him going elsewhere for a job. But the principle is, if he goes to WWE, where are they going to put him? NXT? Straight in the main roster? You know, because it just like that's what really confuses the hell out of me. Really does confuse me because I look at the way things are in WWE. It can be good, could be bad at times. Like this past Monday Night Raw, obviously check out that review. You would, in my own opinion of it. I'm thinking, okay, what would WWE do with the likes of Wardlow, other than getting WWE's gain of trollism to or cyberbullying AEW fans? But you criticise AEW when they sign former WWE guys. You've criticised them for numerous of times, and yet if WWE sign former AEW guys, that's bragging rights. But ain't you tech? That's why AEW fans don't retaliate because they know the shit you guys come out with, and it's quite toxic at times on social media. And I've had enough of seeing it, And for the likes of Wardlow to go to WWE, I think it's technically beneath him. I know WWE is a big company, but the plethora of talent that WWE's got, they're already stacked as it is. They'll have the same problem that what AEW did when they first started. Signed a load of bunch of guys and women tag teams and didn't know what to do with them all. And half of them didn't even make it on TV. That's why they were working on the likes of Dark Elevation, Collision, Rampage. Even though they've sort of that sort of mess out, and when you look at the likes of Dynamite, surpassed the likes of WCW Nitro. That's a massive achievement to prove. Because at the end of the day, I know Eric Bischoff is going to be better mouthing AEW. You can picture it, can't you? But haters are going to hate, you know. But end of the day, when I look at the likes of Dynamite from last night, did it have a good show? I thought it was a decent show. It entertained me as a wrestling fan, which I'm really, really enjoying what getting tongue tied. I do apologise. What AEW is asked to offer. But the weird thing was, Master P, yeah, fair enough, what he did for the charities and that lot in the likes of New Orleans. I don't blame them into bringing them involved in sort of thing. One thing I do like is the Trios Championship at the moment with Ops that are actually the champions. You got Smojo, Powerhouse Hobbs finally got a championship. You've literally got the name I keep forgetting, the other guy. I'm going to say the other guy because I don't want to put my foot in it if I'm trying to say it wrong. But then you look at the bigger picture of that. You've got someone that's a wrestling legend that's been around for a bit, Ring of Honor, TNA, NXT, and then he's obviously he was in PWG in his early days as well. Now, other than Smojo being the leader of that group, and I like what they have to offer. But the Death Riders thing, interrupting it, okay, it was an interesting segment. It seems like they're teasing towards a triple threat trios match at some point in the distant future. Maybe at Double or Nothing, I don't know. But obviously later on the show, it was actually confirmed, which I was hoping they would confirm it for a pay per view or what you call it, a TV special, which is on Spring Break or Break Spring or whatever they call it. It is no other than Smojo versus John Moxley for the AEW Championship. I don't mind that, because at the end of the day, it's a stepping stone towards Double or Nothing this year, which is actually really good to have. Then you actually had Mark Briscoe defeat Ricochet. Now, I feel like when Mark Briscoe faced Ricochet, I think Ricochet was out of his depth. It was actually a solid match. I was really invested into that match because at the end of the day, you see a different entity towards what Ricochet can actually do for the matches that are people who are in attendance and not at home. And I'm really, really surprised at what Ricochet with his offense and defense, but it didn't prevail. And then you actually had the likes of Mark Briscoe. I do miss the Briscoes. I miss them daily. I miss watching them. I miss Jay completely. Even though I feel like sometimes that Mark Briscoe ain't that book that great, even though he still turns up, he does the matches. I feel bad for Jay losing his losing Jay to obviously death through that car accident. It's kind of still chokes me up every time I do actually see the likes of Mark Briscoe being what he's known for as a professional wrestler and living his dream in AEW, yet as well as Ring of Honor. And if only Mark and Jay was literally together still, that would have been phenomenal. Then we've actually had the segment between Rock and Roll Express versus sort of FTR sort of moment. The one thing is that I never get is like when you look at the likes of FTR, you've turned them heel, don't get me wrong, or bad guys. That sort of segment was okay. Don't get me wrong; it was an okay thing, but stop using the Midnight Express. I'm sick and tired of them appearing in the likes of AEW. I know they're wrestling legends. We get the picture, the wrestling legends. But every time when they've been used on TV, they've always been like someone's attacking them or disrespecting them. I think we had the Young Bucks last time. Now you got the FTR with their heel turn, which I don't mind. I'm hoping they're building towards All In, which I really hope it materialises possibly this way. Where I think it's going to go. FTR versus Cope and Christian Cage in a tag team match. I hope that materialises that way. I could be wrong, but you never know, you know. And then we look at the way we literally had Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight versus the Young Bucks. Love that match. You know, it's great the Young Bucks are back. Don't get me wrong. It was been kind of boring without them, but a great match because they elevated obviously two young wrestlers that are coming through the ranks of AEW, which is actually a pretty good achievement in itself. Obviously, there was more to the kerfuffle between obviously the FTR and Rock and Roll Express, but I'm not going to go into that. There's no point talking about it. But I look at the way the Young Bucks obviously they literally won their return. The Young Bucks, you know, but it looks promising between obviously Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. I'm really intrigued to see what these young wrestlers or whippersnappers, if you want to call them, what they've literally got to bring to the table. Now you look at the way they did the FTR, sorry, MJF and her business thing. It is what it is. You know, obviously, with MJF promising Bobby Lashley the car, that was funny. Where he hijacked the car or stole the car, whatever you look at it as. Proper Grand Theft Auto style says he's not interested in them joining her business. He's not impressed Bobby Lashley yet. Now, I don't mind that sort of storyline because it's just sort of tongue in cheek. I think it's to me a homage towards obviously Nation of Domination and Owen Hart when he literally joined them. At least one thing, they've got a long builded storyline through that. Um, Another segment I did love because it's actually building something really nice for numerous of weeks. I say nice, it's hypocritical to say nice with Nick Wayne and Christian Cage. I, are they going to do it all in? Not all in, I mean double or nothing between them two actually having a match. They need to have that match. It's been long building and this brewing and brewing and brewing for numerous weeks now. And when is it going to materialize that way between Christian Cage and Nick Wayne? You know, I think that's going to be such a really good match for Nick Wayne. Even though he's the current Ring of Honor TV champion, I find this going to be a very interesting match going forward. And they could put the TV title involved, make it even more better for the storyline. You know, I'm all for this, you know, because Nick Wayne, for a young kid, he's talented. He's really, really talented. I was glad to meet him randomly on the street all in 2024. You know, I was wanted to have a photo with him for a while. Obviously, I do want his autograph, but not right at the moment. No disrespect to Nick Wayne, obviously. Then we have Kaneshka and Josh Alexandra versus Will Ospreay and Brody King. Now, with Josh Alexandra to get the pin, you know, another tag team solid match. You know, really, really solid match. I was really impressed with obviously what those guys had to offer for that tag team match, and it was really entertaining. Um, there was a bit of up and R that I thought last week. Why did Josh Alexandra lose on his debut? I'm not being funny, but this is where people have been programmed to obviously watch other companies. If someone makes a debut, they're gonna win. You know, it don't always happen that way. That's why AEW does it, being the alternative. I repeat, AEW are the alternative. So Jamie Hayter versus Chris Statlander, semi-final of the Owen Hart Trophy match or tournament. Sorry, with Jamie Hayter winning. I just want to say this: this is how you should book women. This is how you should promote your women's division. I've noticed with AEW for numerous of months now, they don't give a shit whatsoever to basically having the balls to put the women as their main events, you know, and they're making this tournament worthwhile. You got Jamie Hayter that got the victory. Fair enough. She's facing Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing in the final, which is when you think about it, it's over a month away. So what they're gonna do in between? That's one thing that really interests me. What they're gonna do? Are they gonna build a promo battle between Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné? I know she came out on the stage and congratulated the winner. Obviously, like I've said, Jamie Hayter's. But guys, that's how you promote women's wrestling. That's WWE should take a leaf out of their book. Look at Monday Night Raw, which you will see the way I talk about it on my review. But I don't mind at all women to be the main event, let alone you building a tournament. Granted, for Owen Hart, it's worthwhile watching that tournament being progressed the way it's done. And like I said, WWE are building something that's in a month's time. Yet you've made it interesting this whole tournament for the women's division, let alone the women's division in AEW. Like I said with WWE, they have a plethora of talent, but they don't know what to do with them. They just throw all mismatch in everywhere. That's why it was a clusterfuck on Monday. It was lackluster. I weren't interested in that much. And then you look at AEW. They are not scared to make the women their main event of one of their pioneer weekly show. They're not scared to, and I'm glad they're not scared to, because it showboats what these women can do. Jamie Hayter, I respect the hell out of her. I respect the likes of Chris Statlander. She's impressed me since she's joined AEW. This is what wrestling's all about: of fair opportunities. And AEW seems to do that. They put tag matches as a main event. They put a women's match at the main event. They'll put a trios match at the main event. End of the day, the booking on the women are actually phenomenal. And you know what would elevate even more? If they bring someone like Gail Kim in the organization to do the booking alongside whoever's doing the booking for this. Women are phenomenal in AEW. The plethora of talent they've actually got. I'm really intrigued. I would love to see someone like the likes of Stephanie Newell. I know she's a friend of mine that I've lost contact with, but still, I won't mind Stephanie Newell, aka Tegan Knox. She weren't utilised due to injuries, probably at WWE, but she would do phenomenal in the likes of AEW. I'm hoping it materialises that way. I'm hoping Will Ospreay's tipping them off towards obviously the people to sign in the Brit scene. Then you look at, because obviously Forbidden Door's on the way, and won't mind her debuting at Forbidden Door. That's just me being honest. But then you look at the likes of people that you see in WWE that deserves a lot better, and I feel like there is people that deserve a lot better than what they're getting in WWE. I can see probably the next crop of people that is going to be released. Do I dare say it? Dakota Kai. She's probably on the list. Bailey's only got that much left on her contract. I think she's got about 18 months. Hope she goes AEW. Not re-signs for another contract, because at the end of the day, I think technically some of the women have already done it. Been there, done it, got the t-shirt, they've got nothing else to prove. That's the problem with the women's division when it comes to the likes of WWE. When you've seen them for numerous of years on the TV, it's not because you get bored of them. It's because creative don't know how to do their direction going forward. But I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued what AEW's got to offer still for the women and for the men's and the tag team and everyone, because I've enjoyed it every week. Yes, I've missed it a few weeks now and again, but I've caught up. I've never actually got around to talking about it, obviously, on TikTok, where I do talk about professional wrestling as well as here. So head over on the link tree. Please do follow my social media outlets. But obviously, keep hitting that subscribe button, keep sharing this, because if it weren't for you guys, I would not be talking about professional wrestling. Because I enjoy professional wrestling. If I could have a blood type called wrestling, I would. Because obviously, not jumping in the ring, that's too far. That's too far. But I love being a fan. I love respecting what people. If they show me respect, I show them back. And by the way, if you didn't notice, looks like I gave my mic Viagra. It stayed up all night long. Well, matter of speaking all night long. I don't know why I'm doing that euphemism. If you haven't watched my bloody Raw review, please check it out. I can't stress you enough. And thank you ever so much for my one subscriber as AJWF. Ironically, it's full circle between me and him. If I remember rightly, he was my fourth ever subscriber when I started my Gavinots YouTube channel. I can't thank him enough, because at the end of the day, I know we hardly talk, but we're good friends. I've gave him tips over the years. He's telling me to get a fucking green screen for this wall. He's got to realise it's only baby steps at the moment. There's an intro coming soon, hopefully. Because at the end of the day, I want to make this popping. Popping, is that what the kids say today? But I enjoy talking about professional wrestling, as you can tell. It always puts a smile on my face. I hope it puts a smile on your face. And my reviews, you probably go to the toilet and take a shit. End of the day, I digress on all that. I went too far, I know, but still. Sorry if you're eating your Cocoa Pops or wherever you're in the world, what you're eating right now, and be shocked. End of the day, I'm not PG. I don't sugarcoat shit. If it's shit, I'll tell you straight. End of the day, keep on supporting professional wrestling. Until next time, catch you guys soon.